Hello, in this video I'm gonna tell you how to fix battery draining issues on your OnePlus 15. Okay, so as you can see right here, it's the OnePlus 15 and it has a really big battery. But if for some reason you notice that the battery is draining too quickly, there are some things that you may want to do to improve it. So let's see what we can do. At first, I'd recommend going to the settings and then go to battery. So find battery here, and by the way, remember that after a few years of using this phone, it is normal that the time after which the battery discharges gets shorter. The battery will drain faster, but if it happens too soon, in your opinion, then there are things that you can do, and we'll do that. So let's begin by seeing our battery usage. I don't have really high battery usage. I actually don't have any since I had this phone reset a moment ago. But you'll see all your apps listed here and how much battery they have been using. So you may want to restrict the background for them by clicking on them. You can see the background activity time, foreground activity, and the background activity should be interesting because some apps don't really need to work in the background. Of course, there are apps that you want in the background, like for example apps that you want notifications from, like let's say WhatsApp or Snapchat, Instagram, some social media that you like to get notifications from. But if that's a game or something like that, you don't really need it to refresh in the background. Also, I'd recommend leaving background activity for apps like like the ones that connect to your devices, like for example a smartwatch. But besides that, I'd recommend disabling that. And to do it, you can go to apps, then go to app management, select the app that in your opinion drains too much battery compared to what it actually does, and let's for example try to find an app for that. Well, I don't really have much apps, but let's say Netflix. If I decide that my Netflix uses too much, I can go to battery usage and change the power consumption controls and set it to smart mode or restrict background activity. I don't really need notifications from Netflix. Now, for apps that like the core services, like for example Google Play Store, Google, or something like that, I'd recommend leaving background activity, of course. Now, once we know that, it is super important that you uninstall some bloatware if you have it. So if on your phone you can notice some apps that you think you don't need at all, but they aren't system crucial apps, like for example photos or phone. What I mean is, for example, the Netflix or Instagram, they were pre-installed on the phone. If you don't need any of those, just press and hold and click on uninstall. If you don't need it, it doesn't need to be there. I'm gonna also uninstall LinkedIn. I don't really use it. And maybe the Amazon shop. Of course, if you use it, you can leave it. Now, it is also worth making sure that in your settings, a few other things are correct. Let's go to display and brightness. You can see there's dark mode. If you wish, you can enable it because it saves your battery by making the screen darker. Now you can also schedule the dark mode. You can change the dark mode settings. The enhanced one is the darkest, and it's gonna save the most power. But if you don't like the dark mode, just stay on light mode. Now, brightness. Auto brightness is a really good feature because it adjusts the brightness of your phone to your environment, so the phone isn't too bright, doesn't use too much power, because screen on your phone uses a lot of power. Now, also another thing is screen resolution and screen refresh rate. Let's go to resolution, and the high one gives you higher resolution, of course, which has a better image, but the standard one, if you don't really care, is still great, but just has longer battery life. Now, screen refresh rate, and this may be controversial for some, because some people think that high is the only way to go and that you shouldn't really set it to anything else. But really, I would highly recommend setting high for a week, seeing how you feel with it, and then seeing standard for a week. And seeing how you feel with it. If you don't see much difference, or if you see it but you don't care about it, I'd recommend setting it to standard because it improves your battery life. Of course, the screen may appear a little bit less smooth, but some people won't notice the difference, and some people, even if they do, they just don't care. Now, these are the things for our display settings that we'd like to do. And now let's try installing the AccuBattery. This is an app that will check all the different things about our battery and tell us if something's right or wrong. So let's go to Play Store. We'll need to sign in. I'm gonna get back to you in a moment. Okay, I'm signed in now, so let's go to the Play Store. Gonna go through that. And let's go to search. Download AccuBattery. And now, get it. Let's go to install. Open. And now here, you'll see statistics about your battery. So it is in calibration currently. You can see it tells you to disconnect your charger and wait a moment. You can see it's detecting the polarity and electrical current unit of the measurements. So yeah, it's just gonna read our battery data. Now we can click on continue. And let's click on finish, and now we can see everything about our battery. So I'm gonna close that. Okay, never mind that. And now you can see that it tells us all the data. We should go to health and see our battery health. Well, you can see I don't really have it configured yet. I would need to first configure it, so it needs to discharge and etc. But at some point after like charging it from below 15% to full, it'll tell me what the battery health is right now, and based on that I will be able to know whether my battery is fine or not. The lower this value is, means the more degraded your battery is. So that's what you may want to look into, and it's worth just monitoring your battery here. See, there's different data here that you can read. It's much more complex than just in setting stuff. So yeah, I would highly recommend monitoring all of that from time to time, just like for a week, and see if there are any errors. If there's an error shown, then also you may want to look into that. Now, a few more things is settings and battery and say power saving mode. If you want, you can enable it. It will do all the things to preserve your battery for additional like 2 hours or so. In some cases, I think it may be really useful if you're just going out for some time and need a longer battery that day. There's also a super power saving mode, which when enabled, you can see it gives you only 6 apps. They are free by default, and you can add 3 more or remove these, and that's basically the whole phone right now. You can see I can lock it, I can unlock it, that's it. If I want, I can exit it, and that's it. So yeah. And now a few more things about your typical battery usage. I would recommend you for your battery longevity, so it doesn't degrade. I would recommend discharging, never discharging below 10%. Of course, sometimes you just need to discharge it because you're out and you can't charge your phone. But whenever you can, please plug in your phone if it's below 20, below 10. Because lithium-ion batteries just don't like being discharged to 0. And also, if you want, you can make sure that in battery, in settings, in charging settings, you have the bedtime setting set, right? Yeah, bedtime. This means that your phone will charge slowly if you're sleeping, and that also saves your battery, I believe. It should also be in battery health, and I would also recommend enabling smart charging, which is also similar to that. And that's basically it. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.